Hello guys, Steven here back with another video, and today me and DevilCube will be teaching you guys how to design and animate your lower thirds. So I'm going to be using Photoshop right here. So the first thing you want to do is press File, New here, and then your new document will appear. You want to type in 920 by 1080 with a transparent background content. Make sure it's pixels and not inches or anything, and then press create when you're done. So what you want to do in order to animate it, you want every element like your logo, your text, all on separate layers so you can animate them all separately. That's very important. So every time you have something new, you want to make a new layer. So the first thing I'm going to do is add the area where I'm going to add text and logo. First, I'm going to do the logo part just because, I don't know, logos are cool. So I'm going to make a little box here. So first you want to go to fill. And I'm actually just going to fill this up so you guys can see it better. I'm going to delete this later because I won't need it. So you want to press the rectangle tool and go and fill and choose whatever color. You go to stroke and make it no stroke. So right here you can see this line, this diagonal line right there. So to make a square for the logo, you just want to press shift, hold it, and then drag the box right here. So that's where the logo is going to be. And then I'm going to make a new layer. And then I'm going to make another rectangle. And you can see it kind of snaps into place. It has that purple line right there. If you don't have if you don't have Photoshop CC, I don't think it shows that. I think it's only the newest version, but basically go to view and snap, and basically snaps in place, which is really good. So there I have it. I have my cool logo and stuff, and I want to make it like more colorful. And so what I'll do is, because Instagram has a bunch of colors in the new logo, I'm gonna kind of incorporate that. So first I'm gonna rasterize these layers by right clicking on them and then rasterize layer. I'm gonna go on this one. You can see that. You wanna make a new layer, right click, create clipping mask, and then you wanna go and select a color. I'm gonna choose purple first and put purple in the corner right there. Then I'm gonna choose like pinkish. Oh, that's on top. It shouldn't be on top, so I'll move this to the bottom. And there's a bit of orange, I think, right? Let me just add this and make it go higher. And one thing before you do that is actually make sure that the stroke rate, oh my, look at these messages. Go to the brush options and make the size like 400, 300, and make the hardness 0. So something like that would be really cool. It would match very well. And you can add like your logo and stuff. I wouldn't particularly do this part, like personally I wouldn't add any color there. It looks really clean that way. So now you want to merge these two layers, so you can highlight both, and you can either merge them by right clicking and press merge, or you can press Control E as a shortcut. And so I'm gonna label this as colorful box, or okay, just do rectangle. And then here I'll do square. And so now you make a new layer, and then you'll now search up the logo on Google, because that's what people do, right? So here I have it right here. I already searched it up. You want to search up the logo and PNG after, because you want it to have a transparent background. And to know for sure, there's going to be a checkered background in the back. And you want to save the image. And there's a couple ways you can import it into your project here. You can either drag it. Sometimes it doesn't work for people, so they have to press File, Place. So I have File Place embedded in linked. I've used a Photoshop. I'm not sure which one it is, but it just has File Place, so it might be different for you. Now what you want to do is press Control T, hold Shift and drag to transform, and keep the aspect ratio while doing so. Let me just make it bigger. And there, now you want to snap it into place. So it automatically does that for you, kind of. So there's the middle. And now you want to add the text. So let me just rasterize this first and name this logo. Now you want to add the text. I would personally add them separately because I want to animate the text, like maybe add the subtext first and then the main text. So let me just go to white. I'm not going to have orange text on a orange background. That wouldn't look good at all. You won't be able to see anything. So what I usually do for the subtext, non-dominant, big text, I would make it very thin. So usually I use Nexa Light. And then for the bigger font, I use like some bold font like Gotham Bold or Nexa Bold. I'm gonna use I'm gonna actually use Long Haul, which is a font I really like. I'm gonna say Instagram. I can type Instagram or like follow me. I think follow me is better because people know this is Instagram already. There. And then I'm gonna duplicate it, press Ctrl J, and then I'm gonna make a new text layer, and type in Steven Van _ and I'm gonna go onto long haul. I'll leave this font in the description in case you guys want it. And then there I have it. And then what I'll do is select both of them, press Control on the other to highlight, and then you can easily find the center. It snaps into place. I love how it does that. And there we have it. Looks really cool. You can use curves and stuff to color correct if that's what you like. So like you can bring this down and then move this up for like a harsher, kind of like stronger look right here. You can see the difference. I personally don't like that. I like it like that. If you don't like the colors, you can always go to color balance and change them. It makes a really small difference. You won't really be able to see it. Like, well, you can see it, but it's like not as big as hue and saturation, which is what I'm going to be talking about next. You can change it. And what I like about how the colors turned out is it's in a gradient. So what I recommend you to do is use 3 colors. Maybe even use white on this as well. So like this might look pretty good. You know, personally I like that. I'm just going to keep it like this so it keeps, you know, with the theme and all that. So I'm going to delete this background now. And I'm going to pass it on to Devil Cube so that he can animate these lower thirds.
Hey there guys, welcome back. This is Devil Cube Designs here, and thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is my second collaboration video with Steve, and I'm really happy to be making collaboration video again with him. But I'm not going to be talking too much. I'm going to get started with my part of the video, which is to teach you guys how to animate this in After Effects. I'm going to show you the final result once again. I don't know if Steve has shown it to you, and we're going to recreate the same thing. Alright, so now since that's what we're going to be creating, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to import it. Now there are 2 options. The first option is to either go ahead and save each element as a separate PNG file. So the text, the box and the logo can be a separate file, or if you're using Adobe After Effects CC and above, there's an option where you can directly import the PSD file in separate layers. So let me just show you. If I just go ahead and create a new, document. I'm going to choose 1920 by 1080 square pixels. We can probably set this to, I don't know, 5 seconds. We don't want so much. I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. So that's going to go ahead and create a new document for us, and I'm going to double click to get my stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and choose the PSD, and we'll click on import. As you can see here, it's going to give us this pop-up, and it says import kind, composition, a lot of stuff. I'm going to choose composition, retain layers, and editable layer styles. You want to choose that and go ahead and click on OK, and it's going to import that. Now as you can see, if I open up this composition, we have all of these 4 different layers which you can now go ahead and edit the way we want. So for group 1, I'm going to actually go ahead and open that up, which contains these 2. I'm going to cut that and I'm going to paste them here. So let me just cut that and paste them over here. I'm going to delete the group, and we have something like this. I'm going to zoom in now so we can actually focus on this part and, you know, have a better idea. Okay, so the first thing is, you know, we want to place them in the right positions. So here, as you can see, Follow Me and Steven Van was a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and we can add that later on in the video. And we have the logo, which is there. We have the square, and we have the rectangle, which is at the back, which is perfectly aligned. Great. So let's begin. I'm going to hide the rectangle for now. We just want the logo and the square, and I'm going to hide the logo also, and we can come over here. So on the square, I'm going to go here and come up to 1 second, so which is 1 second over here, and as you can see, it's 1 second over here. I'm going to go ahead, press P on my keyboard to get the position keyframe. Just click to create on the stopwatch to create a keyframe. Oops. All right. And then I'm going to come over here and click here to create another another keyframe. So as you can see, we just have 2 keyframes and nothing is happening. And I'm going to come here to the 20 frames mark, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the layer and just hold down Shift on my keyboard, and I'm going to move this up just twice like so, and I'm going to press page down on the keyboard, which is going to move my timeline indicator to the right. So if I press once, it's going to move 1 frame, and I'm going to press twice, thrice, 4th time, and the 5th time, and this time I'm going to hold down Shift and bring it down twice. So what actually has happened here, if I play this, oops, we forgot one more thing. We want to we want to come here on the 0 second mark, and we're going to bring down the entire object. So let's just get it off the screen. And now if we play this, we're gonna have something that looks like this. So basically what's happening is the box is coming up, it's gonna go a little bit more, and when it comes back it's going to come a little bit down, and then it's going to fit into place. So let's play that again, and there we go. That's what we have. To get the animation look more cooler, we can select all these keyframes, right click, go to keyframe assistant and choose easy ease, which is F9 on the keyboard. Now I can't press F9 because I'm recording with Camtasia and the shortcut to stop is F9, so I'm not going to be doing that. Now let's play it once again, and we can see a little bit more difference. We can see there's this nice effect, like a smooth effect, and a little bit more to enhance this. Let's select this keyframe, and we're going to come over here and click on this graph editor, which is going to give us this graph. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select this tangent over here, and I'm going to move it over to the right a little bit, so it goes a little bit faster and then it becomes slow. So let's see that once again. It's a very subtle movement. So there we go. It just hits it up so hard like that, and then it fits into place. Awesome, looking great. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is when we are here on the 1 second mark, what we want to do is with the logo, let's click on the logo. So the logo is there, and we can click on this pick whip tool. So you're going to get this kind of a stick, and we can just put it on the square, and that's going to parent it to the square. So what actually happens now is, as you can see, it's kind of like together. Wherever the square moves, so does the logo. So that's what I'm talking about. So there you go, you see it's a part of the square now. So as you can see here, it's selected as square. All right, so the next thing is we want to go ahead and get ourselves the rectangle. So let's just throw out the rectangle. So we want to have a movement from left to right for the logo and the square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these, hold down Control and select both, and I'm going to go and hold down Control, Shift and C, which is going to give me these pre-compose option. I'm going to choose move all attributes to the new composition and adjust composition duration to the time span of the selected layers, and click on OK. Now what that's going to do is that's going to create a new composition for us, and it's basically like group in Photoshop, for those of you who have used Photoshop. So I'm going to go ahead to probably 10 seconds. I'm going to hold down Shift and press page down, which is going to jump 10 frames forward. 10 seconds, sorry, my bad. And we're going to animate the rectangle. So how do we animate the rectangle? It's pretty simple. What we want to do is we're going to take the rectangle, press P on my keyboard, and we're going to get the position tools. I'm going to press once, and I'm going to go to 30 frames further, so which is going to be page down once, page down twice, and page down thrice. Make a keyframe once again. We're going to basically repeating the same process. We're going to press Shift and page up, which is going to come 10 frames before, and we're going to take, we want to come over here to the first part, and we want to just move this over to the side like so. Hold down Shift so that it moves without moving up or down. And now as you can see, we have this animation. Good. But on here on the 2 seconds mark, I'm going to go ahead and move this a little bit over, or rather extend it more than the finish point. So if we play this, we're going to see we have this animation. So it kind of, get that jerky effect. So I'm going to come over here and press page down 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to move it a little bit towards the inside like so. So if you play this once again, you see we have this, that piston, the jerk effect. I'm going to do the same process, select all these keyframes, right click, keyframe assistant, choose easy ease. So now let's go ahead and grab the text. I'm going to right click and choose new text. So we just want to write follow me, and then we can bring down on Instagram. Yeah, the font, so the font we're going to be using is Nexa Bold, right? That was the font Steve used, and we can click here to center the text, so it's paragraph texting. And I'm going to bring it over here into the center. Let's just zoom in a little bit over here, and we can scale this down. So let's bring it about to 30 points. That's better. Press V on your keyboard to get the move tool, and we can just move them slowly. Right here to the center. And over here on the last frame, what you want to do is we want to the same process of pick whipping. So we can click on this pick whip tool and click on the rectangle. And so now what happens is the text follows the rectangle. I'm going to bring this below the pre-comp. So we have looks like this. So once we have this, we're going to move the pre-comp. Well, let me just rename this to box, right? So we have this box, right? This is the box, and we're going to move it to the left and the right. So I'm going to hold down Shift and press page down to go 10 frames forward. Press P on my keyboard. I'm going to click on a keyframe there, all right? And I'm going to go move page down once again. And this time I'm gonna go ahead and just move this over to the right side. Make sure that we don't lose that, something like that. And then we're gonna go press page down again to go 10 frames forward. And we can copy this keyframe and press Ctrl V to paste it. So we have something that looks like this, like a scanning effect. We can select all these three, right click, choose keyframe assistant and choose easy ease, and there we go. We have a better smooth effect. Maybe we can move this a little bit more further. So let me just move this over. Hold down shift, you want to snap the keyframes. So let's see how it looks from the beginning. All right, great. Now the thing is, we don't want this part to be shown on the left hand side. So how are we going to fix that? Pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and press Ctrl D to duplicate, and I'm going to go double click on it, and I'm going to type at Steven Van _ that's his YouTube tag. And I'm going to go and choose the font to long haul, which is what he used previously. And okay, and I'm going to bring this down like so, and then scale it up. I don't know if you want to scale it up, but let me just hide the bottom layer. I think this is fine. It's pretty much cool. And let me just hide the Steven Van layer for now. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go effects and presets. If you don't have this, you can go to window and choose effects and presets. I'm going to click on this transition which says linear wipe, and I'm going to throw it on the follow on me on Instagram layer. Right, now we're going to go ahead and make a transition. So now we want to press page down and move frame by frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to the transition completion and make a keyframe, all that. And let's move a little bit further. All right. Now I think it's completely covered over here. So I'm going to go ahead and set the transition complete to 100. So what actually happens is when I move page down, you see the box covers, and it kind of makes the entire text disappear. But as you can see, it's already disappearing quite fast. So what we want to do is press U on our keyboard to get the keyframes, and we can just manually move these ones out and to get the right point. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good and decent enough. All right, that's good. Now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna turn on the Steven Van layer, which is over here. I'm gonna go and add the linear wipe effect again this time, and this time I'm gonna set the transition completion to 100, and we're gonna reverse it. So make a keyframe, and then we're gonna go and then start moving down. Let's see. Okay, so now this is back in place. So I'm gonna go and set this to 0. But let's see if it matches with the scene. Okay, that's good. All right, now let's go. Okay, it's still not revealing. We want to go ahead and manually move these. So let's press U on our keyboard to get the keyframes. So you just want to tweak around a little bit, and as you can see, it looks cool now. So let's just play it from scratch and see how it looks. All right, there we go. Comes on, and then wow, that looks brilliant. Now we want to fix this part of the left part of the text, which we do not want. So I'm going to just fold up everything over here. And all right, so we're going to select all of these 3 layers, and I'm going to right click and choose pre-compose and click on OK. And what we want to do now is let's come over here to the animations part. Oops, sorry about that. We're going to go ahead and select the rectangle tool and make sure that your letter is selected, and we're going to create a rectangle like so, covering the right part of the text. Now what actually is happening is there's a mask that has been created, and that's going to reveal only this part on the layer. So if I come over to the beginning, boom, it's gone. Now if I just play this, you see, there we go. Follow me on Instagram, the swipe, and there you go, Steven Van comes. A little bit of touch to this. What we want to do is let's come here to the project panel, and we can choose the lower thirds tutorial, the one which I have, which has everything, and just throw this into a new composition, guys. All right, and now we use the CC light sweep and throw it on this. And as you can see over here, you can't see anything. So if I just click here on the center, this button, and I click over here, you can see this light sweep that comes across. If I just move it, this is a nice effect. A lot of options you can edit, but I'm just going to stick to the default ones. And so I'm going to move this right over to the end over here. Select a keyframe on the center, and then we can probably move. Okay, so we kind of want to have the animation start off over here. So we're going to drag this keyframe over here, and post which let's probably go to 10 frames further, or let's actually choose 20 frames. Hold down shift and page down twice, and we can move over this light sweep slowly. So there we go, and we can close this up. And the last thing is we can select the position of this, press P on our keyboard select it and come over here to the end, and then just move this over right over to the left side so it kind of exits the screen. There we go. We can select these two, right click, keyframe assistant, and choose easy ease. So let's have a look at the final animation once before we put it to render. And there we go. That's looking much better. Another thing that we can do is to give motion blur. So what we can do is there are two options. Now I use a plugin called as Real Smart Motion Blur, which is a paid plugin, but obviously if you guys want it, I'm sure there are a lot of links on YouTube or Google that you can get them for free. But it's basically the most realistic motion blur plugin, and all you got to do is create a new adjustment layer, and then we're going to come over here and choose RSMB, which is going to give us the plugin, and just drop it on this, and that's it. It automatically calculates the blur, so you can choose the blur amount, which I think default is the best, and it automatically calculates and adds the blur. So if I just play this once, pretty cool. As you can see here, the motion blur, it's really good. Now if you don't have that plugin, the other option is to add the default motion blur. So what you want to do is make sure that you click on this button so it says enables motion blur, and all you got to do is go to all the layers which have the animation and just come over here and just tick this, which is going to give us the motion blur. We can come over here and put motion blur on everything, doesn't matter actually. Alright, so once we have this, you want to export it, but make sure you export it with an alpha channel. Now you can use media encoder, but I use QuickTime, so it's fine. So we can go to composition, choose add to render queue, and once you have render queue, you can go to this output module, and let's choose QuickTime, and come here to the channels and choose RGB plus alpha, and that's going to give you with a transparent background, and then just click on OK and export it.
And yeah, that's the end of the video. I really liked how the lower third turned out. It looks really nice with that glossy effect. I don't know what it's called, that wipe. I want to thank DevilCube for helping me out with this video, and I want to thank you guys for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll see you in the next one.